Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for letting me know that you couldn't hear me. Okay, I'm going to start this again. For some reason, I was muted. So, this video is about never give men advice. Do this instead. In this video, I'm going to share with you the key reasons why you should never give men unsolicited advice and what you should do instead to have better communication, better connection, and more romance with your man. Thank you. You can hear me. And as a guy, you can tell me if you agree about women giving unsolicited advice to men. So, anyone who's new to me, I'm Naomi Thompson. I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I help accomplished women attract and keep the love of their lives. Now, as accomplished women, we are capable, we're bright, we're clever, we're good at getting things done in life. And from a young age, we've been trained to get approval from our accomplishments, from our grades, from our achievements, from our problem solving ability. So when a man has a problem, you get these very natural urges to be helpful because you've had approval in your life from being helpful, for being good, for being good at solving problems. You may have really great ideas about how you could fix his problem or his situation, and then you'll dive in and make suggestions. Now, when it comes to relationships, we think we're being really helpful by coming up with solutions for him. Our accomplished brain hates to see a problem go unsolved. And I mean, I know that 100% for me. If something's lost, I want to be the one to find it. If there's a problem, I want to be the one to fix it. And it's really old conditioning from being the good girl. Okay. And getting approval for being the good girl. So it may also be frustrating when a guy seems resistant to taking up your great advice. You might notice him being a bit distant or irritable or moody or even a bit snappy with you. Or another one, he may seem to be listening to you, but you kind of get the feeling he's not listening to you. He's kind of like listening in a shut down kind of way. And then that might make you want to convince him even more that you've got this great idea that he should follow. But what happens is he will probably start to shut down from you, especially if he's a very masculine energy man. If you've watched many of my videos before, you'll know I speak about masculine and feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So it's not just about men and women, but primarily people who identify as masculine, as men, have more masculine energy. Masculine energy is about doing, giving, problem solving, thinking, taking action. As women, it's all the things we do when we're raising our kids. Feminine energy, instead of thinking, it's feeling. Instead of doing, it's being. Instead of giving, it's receiving. It doesn't mean as a woman you never do anything for a man. However, pure feminine essence is about feeling, being, experiencing, receiving. So I want to just talk and dig a little bit deeper into this. It's like the masculine partner wants primarily to feel trusted and respected and admired for his thinking, his ideas, his accomplishments, and to feel accepted for who he is and that his partner isn't trying to change him. And when he feels trusted and respected by her, his urge to cherish and protect the feminine ramps right up. So she gets to feel loved and adored by him. So when you innocently dive in to advise him, even though it may come from a really loving place, when you want to make these suggestions to him, he feels deep down that you don't trust him, that you don't trust him to take care of his problems. If this is resonating with you, please do click the heart or pop a comment, with any questions, and I will get to the questions. A guy wants to make his own decisions and he wants to be trusted to fix it if it turns out not to be the right decision. And it gives a man a sense of accomplishment. It gives all of us a sense of accomplishment. But with a guy, and I'm talking about specifically in relationship, it really makes a guy feel good if he solves a problem himself. And it makes him feel especially good if he solves a problem for you or for both of you. That makes him feel like he can provide solutions. He can protect you from stress or hardship. He can impact you and make a difference to you in a positive way. And he'll feel like he's winning at making you happy. So by giving unsolicited advice or suggestions, you put yourself in the mother role, which turns him off you romantically. And this happens on a very, very deep level because he may not know. I've heard quite a number of men say, I don't know what it is. She's a great woman, but I'm just not feeling it. I felt really great to start with, but I'm just not feeling it anymore. And the thing is, what will have happened is maybe to start with, you just let him romance you, you let him lead, and then something happens and we feel like we have to step in, and it kind of just turns off his romantic spark for you. And it turns off his masculine instinct to cherish you because he instinctively feels you don't trust him to solve the problem himself. And he may zone out from you the way he zoned out from his mother. And in turn, if you find yourself in that fixing role, in that leading role, that may also turn you off. You might find yourself, and I remember feeling this, and so many women I've spoken to feel this way, you'll feel less respect and admiration for him. And it will start to kill the polarity between you, that masculine and feminine polarity that's so vital. So you might not realize you're turned off, but you might start feeling irritated with him. And that's because your respect for him is dwindling. And so it's just great to be aware. You start feeling irritated with your man. That may be you losing respect for him. And that's a sign you're feeling turned off. And it doesn't mean that it's all over there with him. You will have some power within you. You will have some power to change that. And that is what I love about this work. And if you find yourself in that relationship, in the dynamic where you're the problem solver in the family or in the relationship, you might notice he becomes more and more passive and the bigger family decisions are left to you. And I know how awful that feels. And I really don't want that for you. So there's a number of different ways, and I've touched on some of them, that giving unsolicited advice to men can be harmful to the relationship. One is that he feels criticized. Unsolicited advice, even with the best intention in the world, can feel like criticism to him. Even if you don't feel like you're judging him or criticizing him, again, it's like he will get the message that you are undermining or not trusting his ability to find a way through a situation. It also creates a power imbalance. So unsolicited advice makes you as the advice giver seem more powerful. And it's that kind of mother-son dynamic. And it's really important that a man feels that you trust in his power to solve his own problems. Once we start getting that mother-son dynamic, and look out there at your life, look at your friends, look at the relationships you see out there, and see the relationships where it seems like she's always irritated and nagging with him and he goes all quiet. It's not just one or the other's fault. It's a dynamic they've got in and they've lost the polarity. And you can really find your way through this. Absolutely. So it will also make him feel controlled. Unsolicited advice can make people feel controlled or second guessed, and a masculine energy man will push against that. Being repetitive. If you are repeatedly advising him, asking him to do things, that repetitive, unsolicited advice or requests can feel like nagging. And again, it takes you back to that mother-son dynamic, and I really don't want that for you. And there can also be real harm done to your relationship by unsolicited advice can create a learned helplessness. So a man will start to feel like, especially if he's not really confident in his masculine energy, that you are the better leader and that it's easier for him and it's a quieter life if he just defers to you and lets you lead the show. So he will become more and more helpless. And this puts you in the role of leader and caretaker. And again, I don't want that for you in a relationship because it kills the romantic spark and it kills his desire and motivation to cherish you and romance you. It really kills the juice of a relationship because a man needs to feel that his ability to give to you and the relationship is being received and appreciated by you. And this is so important to know, that men fall deeper in love by you receiving his action and his provision with warmth and trust. So, what can you do instead? Instead of giving him advice on where to park if you're dating, or trying to solve his work problems, focus on listening and asking questions. Ask him, what are your thoughts? How do you think you could solve this? If you know each other well, if you're in a relationship, just saying something like, you know, you've shown in the past how good you are at solving problems. I really trust you to I really trust you to handle this. Is there anything you want to talk through so it's clearer for you? So again, you hear you're not jumping in to give advice. Advice giving is very penetrative. It's like I'm taking something and I'm putting it in your world. Whereas actually just asking questions and showing him some appreciation and giving him words of trust is just like an invitation. You're not jumping and penetrating into his world. What you're doing is giving him the space in your presence to work out and solve his problem. That is going to make a man feel so much more loved by you, so much more respected and appreciated. So, really, this is, I would say, one of the hugest, most powerful things you can do when you are in a relationship or when you're dating, to really let your man feel like the man. And it's not that a man always has to come up with every idea or solve every single problem, but it's really looking at how, because sometimes these are we problems. It's like, how are we going to solve this together? But as a woman, especially if you feel more of that feminine energy inside of you and you really resonate with that, is if you lead with your feelings and let him lead with his thinking. So you leading with your feelings is, I feel uncomfortable with this situation. I I don't feel good about going to this event. There's something about your business partner that makes me feel uncomfortable. Um, and then you can say to him, what do you think? What are your thoughts? You want to invite a man's thinking. And if you're dating, that is going to really give you information about him. Is he someone who can lead with his thinking? It's not to say a man never feels, and it's not to say a woman never thinks, but primarily a man wants to feel respected and trusted and admired for his thinking, and a woman needs to feel cherished for her feelings. Then both partners start to feel loved. And I bet if you ask any guy, does he feel more loved when you give him a ton of advice, or does he feel more loved when you trust him to handle his decisions and his problems? I bet I know what he's going to say. And for you, being cherished for your feelings, would you much rather a guy said, that's a great idea, I'm going to do that? Or he says, darling, I can see that you feel upset. I'm here for you. What do you need from me? That's cherishing your feelings versus, him respecting your thinking. They're so different. So I've got another video that I think will be really useful for you. If you're watching on the replay, it will probably come up below. Otherwise, I will link it in the description. And I recommend you watch this if you enjoyed this video. 6 habits that will turn him off. And I've linked that in the description. So if you have any questions, please leave them for me now. Otherwise, I will close out and I will see you in the next video. So let me know if there are any questions. I don't see any. So I will see you in that next video, the 6 habits that will turn him off. Let me know how this landed for you. Pop something in the comments below. Let me know your experience of when you have actually been giving guys advice and how that felt. And when you stopped doing that, what happened? I would love to hear, and let me know what you think of the 6 habits that will turn him off. I think you will really like that video. So I don't see any questions at the moment. So loads of love to you all. See you in the next video.